皆さんごきげんよう、小島です。今ですね、YouTube やってるんですけど、これ超明るくないですかね、これね。今日ですね、ウェビナーを、依頼されてまして、そのウェビナーが、今日の7時から8時半までの1時間のウェビナーでした。で今から始まるんですけど、でこのウェビナーをその1時間半、今からですねロンドン時間の11時みたいなんですね。ロンドンの先生が、メインみたいなんですけど、ロンドンの先生のコースなんですね。2000人ぐらいの参加の方がいらっしゃるみたいなんですけど、もし可能だったらねこっち側に移せれたらいいかなと思って今考えてるんですけど、重くなっちゃうかな。これでいけたらいいんですけど、一応ねこんな感じでねしようかと。見えないですね。見えないね。やめとこう。やめときましょう。後ろ見えない。これやめて、あと4分4分前なんで、どうしたらいいかなと思ってねこれがね、髪の毛すんごい伸びちゃう。こっちに置いてやった方がいい。これをこれでいきましょう。いけるのかな。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to start this long-awaited webinar with Dr. Kenjiojima. My name is Mohammed Al-Muzian. I'm a specialist orthodontist based in the UK, and I will be your moderator along with an amazing worldwide panelists from around the world. We have Mark Wertheimer, a specialist orthodontist from South Africa. How are you, Mark?
All good, brother. Good to be with you again. And Kenji,
we have our godfather, the godfather in orthodontics, Jay Bowman. I actually typed his name Joe Bowman, and it's true. He is the Joe of orthodontics. So I'm very happy here to start this webinar. Let me introduce you to Dr. Kenjiojima. So Kenji is a specialist orthodontist based in Japan. He studied dentistry at the University of Showa in Tokyo, Japan. And he finished his postgraduate study at the same university. He practiced in his private practice as a specialist orthodontist on Tokyo since 2007. He is the president of American Academy of Cosmetic Orthodontics in the Asian section. And he spoke in many countries. And I'm sure that all of you, or most of you, attended his amazing lecture. He spoke in Australia, in Austria. So there's difference between Australia and Austria. So the country which has a kangaroo and the other country which is in Europe. And he spoke in Brazil, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Poland, Spain, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, and United States. He's the president of Japan Academy of Aligner Orthodontics, and he is a key opinion leader for some aligners company. So I'm very delighted to have Kenji with us. How are you, Kenji?
Hello, everyone.
How are you? Doing well?
Hello, Jay. Hello, Mark. Hello, Mo.
Okay. So some housekeeping. So I know that you know this this handsome guy. This is Kenji, and there's another guy. I don't know who's that. Oh, this is another handsome guy, and this is Mark. So just to let you know. And before I start, I want to dedicate this song to all healthcare professionals working and saving lives in the world. So I would like to, I will ask all of you to raise your hand as a sign of respect to all healthcare professionals, including the panelists. You raise your hands as a way to say thank you to this healthcare professional. So this is songs to those working for the NHS or any healthcare sector.
I just wanna thank you, thank you, thank you. Just wanna thank you, thank you, thank you.
God bless all of those who are fighting against the coronavirus, and of course those who are helping us in fighting the coronavirus through these webinars. I just want to announce that Mark Wertheimer, Jay Bowman, Kenji are doing this for free. There is no honorarium fees. They are doing it for completely free. Yes, it's free, Jay. Okay, you didn't ask. Actually, you suggested another lecture, and you did all of this for free. So God bless you and bless everyone who is doing this for the sake of profession. Just to let you know that recording is not allowed at any stage during the presentation. There will be no certificate for attending this webinar. The certificate is learning the knowledge from these great people. And the chat section will be closed and blocked, as well as the question and answer during this presentation. But we are going to collect your question by another mean. So what I want from you is to go to this website and turn on your phone and go to this website, www. I'm going to type it in the chat section, www.pollev.com/Almuzian, and we are going to see from where is your fan. So let's see who love you, Kenji. Let's see who like you the most, which country. So tell us, where are you local from? Where are you local to? Which country you are based in? So let's see. So we have people from London. So you have fans from London, London and Libya. You have people from Indonesia, Mauritius, Lebanon, the United States, Egypt, and Manchester, Iraq, Hong Kong, Mauritius, Emirates, Islands, Lebanon, Armenia, Italy, Islands, Morocco, Poland. You should be the new Kofi Annan. Honestly, you should be the new president of the United Nations. Sorry, not the United States. You don't want to take this position at this stage. Okay, so that's amazing. So guys, stay on this platform, because we are going to collect answer exactly at 12 mid-noon London time. Okay, and we have a lot of people from Turkey and many other people. So thank you so much for all those who are joining us. And I would like to give the stage to the guy who I call him the Pokemon of clear aligners. So literally, he is the Pokemon of clear aligners. You are Pikachu. Okay? So yeah, you are Pikachu. You have all this power of using the plastic in doing a lot of work. So before I start, I would like to give you some boost and encourage you more to give us more knowledge about clear aligners, and I will dedicate this song to you.
Thank you.
Start. The stage is yours. Thank you so much, Kenji.
Okay. So,
Jay, don't worry. I will make another video. I will make one like a Superman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, as you know, the Jay is a real rock star, right?
He's the Hulk.
Yes. So Mark, can I send back to me for the this is okay. This is okay. So, can I for the start it? Is
Yes,
okay?
go ahead, start. We are all waiting, and I like your background.
Okay. So initially, first at all, thanks a lot for all of my friends and Mark and Jay and more and worldwide for the colleagues. And this time is very dark time, but our good for the relationship, and we have to help for our patient, and we have to save for our family, friend, all of the peoples. At this time, we have to need for the keep the right mind, and we have to think about for the positive mind and think about for the good treatment for the orthodontic treatment. So at this time, I want to share with you so that my experience for the aligner orthodontic approaching. This time, so I had non-extraction approaching and extraction approaching. So if you want for the more education, please for the watching my YouTube channel. That is better to good continuous education for yours. Okay?
I don't know, Kenji, did you start sharing the screen or not yet?
Yes.
Because we can't follow it.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
It's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start.
Washington, D.C. is the stage.
So normally, so many of the doctor is going to AAO this year, but this time is AAO is only webinar, right? So AAO time is everybody is very exciting time, but this time is cannot for the attending all of the orthodontists. Then so that I want to this time share my experience for the many of the complex case. The many of the doctors think about aligner approach is just simple case. But in my office and my team is to treat for the more complex case, more severe approaching, same as multi-bracket approaching. My name is kenjiojima. Our private practice is Tokyo, Japan. And this is my self-introduction. So I had over 2,200 cases over Invisalign cases. And I am adjunct professor, University of Torino, Italy, orthodontic department. I am a president of Japan Academy of Aligner Orthodontics. So I started my private practice in 2007. At this time, I use for the aligners. Now about my experience is 14 years. 14 years continue for the aligner orthodontic treatments. At this time, I collaborate for my mentor, my friend, for the Dr. Jay Bowman. Now we publish for the many of the wonderful articles. Thanks, Jay, again. And I had a lecture in Mexico with Dr. Mark. At this time, amazing 2 days, 3 days time. So today I want to share with you the very complex cases, because everybody know nowadays aligner can treat almost normal treatment. Yes. 10 years before, maybe just a little bit difficult, but now almost all the orthodontists and the doctors and the patient already understood is Invisalign treatment, aligner orthodontic treatment is a very good potential for the treat for the several cases. I had many of the type for the complex case, but today is a focus on extraction, focus on upper molar digitalization, and focus on how can we prevent for the posterior open bite for the aligner orthodontic treatment. Many of the doctors think about using aligner orthodontic treatment. After that, started to happen posterior open bite. But my opinion, my idea is just no. That is just so that we have to think about biomechanics, and we have to think about is a more good treatment planning we can solution. This is our clinic. Jay is coming to my office with his son. And here is Shinjuku Station orthodontic office. There is only focus on Invisalign treatment. So the Jay and coming to my office about 3 or 4 years ago, right? He is Dr. Junji Sugawara. Now we are collaboration with Surgery First with aligners. Then nowadays 95% is we can treat for the aligner orthodontic treatment. After 5% is using multiple braces. After surgery first limitation for the multiple bracket time. So time is 1 month to the 6 months. After OGS, short time using multiple braces, then shift to the aligners. This is both is our office. This is our team. If you have a time, please join to my office. This is our team. Is orthodontist and maxillofacial surgeon and prosthodontist. Our team is treat for the aligner orthodontic nowadays. And this book is published on 2015. My mentor, my master, Dr. Bernhard Schupp from Germany. Our team is published on Quintessence Publisher Aligner Orthodontic textbook. Nowadays is many of the translation for the language, Portuguese, Japanese, English, Chinese, French, Korean, many of the language. If you have interesting, please read it. Very important thing more for my approach is this. Basically, everything including this book. So initially, patient come to my office. Very important thing, we have to check functional analysis first. If patient have any problem, the joint, just a little bit pain, the headache, neck pain, we started to planning for the functional treatment. After pain-free position, after no problem the joint, we step up for the aesthetic analysis. Then we use the clean check, sometimes mock-up, sometimes wax-up, sometimes digital smile design, integration clean check. Then started orthodontic treatment. Okay, let's start it my first case today. This case is an Invisalign Class II upper molar distalization. Under this QR code, you can take photos. You can easy to go my YouTube channel. Then you can easy to check and you can easy to checking and watching and continuous education. This is free. So today I give to the specialty give to this QR code. And you can take photos and please subscribe and please watching my YouTube channel. The same cases, okay? Let's go to my first case. Initially, this patient, 25 years old female patient, class 2 severe overjet upper molar distalization case. This approach is no extraction. So many of the Asian patients, sometimes we need for the extraction, but as you know, aligner is very good for the control molar distalization because the aligner is very good for the gripping for the molars. Then we can precisely control molar distalization. Now, this patient is a class 2 division 1 severe overjet no extraction approaching. Please have a look. This is the initial situation. So the both of sides is molars and the canine is a class 1 relationship and the narrow arch and just a little bit severe overjet upper 1-1. Then so that this patient asked to me, my teeth have to need extraction or not? So my answer all the time is the same. Okay, we have to take documentation. Then after planning, then I explain what is better to your treatment. Then so that this patient, this is the profile and smiling and normal face. Just a little bit for the lip is not good position. Then this patient want to be good smiling. This is the initial OPG and the safe. Then so my planning is extraction upper and the lower wisdom tooth. Then after that, no extraction another tooth. This is initially clean check. The clean check is very, everybody think about what is good clean check, what is better way. But my clean check is very simple. Is upper molars, it's sequential distalization. You can see sequentially, one by one distalization. Then we achieved for the class 1 molar relationship, the molars. After that, premolars, the canine, then finally anterior teeth. This approach is more safety and this approach is more predictable tooth movement because we can check all the time. The molar is good distalization. Then after that premolar distalization phase. At this time, very important thing is check, avoid anchorage loss or not. At this time, if you more safety approaching, you can use for the additional mini screws, place on second premolar, between second premolar to upper first molar, sometime. But in this case, I don't use any mini screw, only aligner, orthodontic, sequential tooth movement, and using class 2 elastic. This is the initial situation placed on the aligners. So normally my protocol is first aligner is we don't place on any attachment, don't place on any button and the hook. Initially, I give to the aligner just aligner only because we call first and second aligner is practice aligners. No use any attachment, no use class 2 elastic, only give to the aligners. Because the patient have to need is started for the practice, remove and insert aligners. If initially, first phase I place on any attachment, maybe patient just a little bit hard time. Remove the time, insert time just a little bit hard. And another hand is easy to remove attachment. We have to check the patient compliance and we have to check patient easy to remove, easy to insert for the aligner. Then next appointment, I place on the attachment. But now time is coronavirus for the face. So now I think is after this disaster, so my clean check just a little bit changed for the place on the attachment is more later, or some of the time more small and very short time, because that is better to the patient because remote treatment is better to the patient, right? This time. Started to the attachment on, this is the aligner third. Then place on the attachment, place on the button, place on the directly bonding hook, then started to use class 2 elastic. Please have a look for this patient. Is a button and place on the button lower first molars and place on the directly bonding hook on first premolars. Then I use for the class 2 elastic 20 hours per day. That is very important thing. This is a point is placed on the button here. Then this button is placed on distal aspect and placed on the rectangular attachment, placed on major aspect. This phase point 2 is directly bonding hook. We call DBH. The DBH is very easy and very faster, very easy to change for the axis and angle that we can control good elastic. If I use precision cut, sometimes precision cut is very simple and very easy to use for the patient, but sometimes patient laughing time, open the mouth bigger, easy to remove for the aligners. That is not good fitting for the aligner and the tooth. We are very all the time thinking about how we can do aligner fitting is more good. That is very important thing for me. Then so that we avoid aligner remove and unfitting. Then I additional bottom cut, first premolar, then I put on directly bonding hook like this. Okay? Then we use class elastic. So this article is very important thing. My article, my mentor, Dr. Werner Schuh from Germany, 2010. He was published for this article. This article name is Class 2 Correction with the Invisalign system. Have a look. This figure 11, the case 2 vertical rectangular attachment on maxillary right canine with hooks on maxillary right canine and mandibular right first molar for attachment of class II elastic before case refinement. That is very important thing is this. We need place on directly bonding hook DBH with rectangular attachment. What is meaning for the rectangular attachment is vertical rectangular attachment placed on maxillary right canine in additional to don't want the desired rotation in the liners. Okay, that is very important thing for us. We place on the directly bonding hook here. So all the time the routine work, same time, same place on rectangular attachment. This meaning is avoid rotation in the liners. Then this is for the strategies. This is the how can we use elastic control. This is I order to align technology, order to bottom cut, first molar in lower and upper side is first premolars. Then order to attachment is major aspect first lower molars. What is meaning? This is anti-tipping movement. Now what is meaning for the upper first premolar attachment is same as this anti-rotation in the liners. Then third one is the bottom place on first molar distal aspect and place on DBH upper first premolars. Then we use elastic like this, then started 20 hours per day using elastic, same time with aligners. Then I want to control like this tooth movement, distalization like this. After distalization completely first premolars, the shift to the bottom cut, first premolar to canine. Okay, that is key of the success. Very important thing is the bottom cut, shift to the canine. Then the first premolar is full cover to the aligners. Then started for the canine retraction. After that, create a space, control anterior teeth retraction phase. Okay, this is my protocol like this patient. Then go back to the clinical photos. This is the 4 months later, started for the upper second molar distalization phase. Okay, second molar distalization, first molar distalization is very, very safety because second premolar to second premolar is anchorage. That is very good anchorage because aligner orthodontic we can use bite force. Aligner is covered to occlusal aspect. That meaning we can use patient bite force. This is very strongly anchorage. Then first molar distalization. Then you can see create a space here. Of course, this time is using Class II elastic is first molars lowered to upper first premolars. Okay. Then next phase is go to premolar distalization. In my protocol, is all the time the both of premolar is the same time distalization. The same time. Initially, second molar, first molar distalization. After that, started next phase. Point 1 is we have to check molar distalization. Point 2, how can so the patient using elastic management or not. If patient is good elastic management at this phase, we can almost more safety approaching because of premolar distalization phase is most dangerous phase for like this sequential tooth movement because upper molars distalization phase is we can use more anchorage, premolar to premolars. But please think about this. Next phase, premolar distalization phase is which tooth is anchorage. Maybe I think the molar is cannot use anchorage because immediately after distalization, around the molar root bone is very soft. Cannot use anchorage for the after this molar distalization. So that meaning is premolar distalization phase only anchorage is canine to canine with elastic. If you want, additional more safety approaching is placed on the top, but if good for the elastic control, we can do both premolars distalization sequentially. Please have a look. This patient is premolar distalization phase is the good control. Of course, at this time we have to check, avoid anchorage loss, molar distalization. Okay, this time is 8 months later. Then premolar distalization phase. This time is not one by one. The same time premolar distalization. Then we have to check precisely. The premolar distalization is good and avoid molars anchorage loss. At this phase, very important thing we have to check, like these procedures. Premolars is distalization the same time, not one by one, but we can good control like this. This phase point 1, the molar anchorage loss or not. Point 2 is premolar distalization completely or not. After premolar distalization completely, the bottom cut shift to the canine, then we place on the directly bonding hook is on the canine. We have to remove DBH on first premolars. This phase is after canine retraction. So we have to check the molar relationship, premolar relationship is good or not. We have to check precisely. This patient is molar distalization. Premolar distalization is very good, stable. This is the planning. Then started for the canine retraction phase. The canine retraction phase, already I told you, very important thing. Place on the DBH, place on the rectangular attachment. This meaning is avoid rotation in the liners. It's good, then we have to check for the canine retraction. We have to check molars, premolars, anchorage loss or not. After that, is the point 2 is canine retraction completely or not. If good, we have to step up final phase. The final phase is anterior retraction phase. Okay, this phase is anterior retraction phase for this patient. Then anterior retraction, alignment, the midline is correct. Then canine and the molar is relationship is good. Then this patient is a total treatment time is 1 year plus 6 months. Then this patient is 2 years retention. The 2 years retention is aligner, retainer is good working, so just 8 hours per day. But the situation, the molar relationship, canine guidance, anterior retraction, anterior guidance is very stable. This is 2 years retention, the face, the smiling is good, the profile is good. This is comparison initial and the final. This patient anterior retraction and the smiling is good and the canine molar situation is stable. This is a comparison initial and the final for this patient. Initial and the final. Okay. Then this case you can see for my YouTube channel. If you want, please take this QR code, easy to rechecking, and you can check for the many time. Okay. The next case is how can we solution.
Sorry, Kenji, can I ask you a question? Do you extract the third molar when you do distalization or not?
Yes, for the normally adult patient is 80% is extraction, but the young generation is sometimes is stable until adult, but normally many of the time is adult patient upper molar distalization phase I extraction wisdom tooth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next case is how can prevent for the posterior open bite. So many of the doctors, many of the orthodontics think about for the using aligner orthodontic easy to happen the posterior open bite. But my idea, my image is no. That is no. Please have a look this patient. This patient is initially 53 years old female patient. Problem is deep bite. Does it create posterior open bite from aligner orthodontic or not? What's happened? Posterior open bite. Okay? Initially, this patient come to my office like this situation, very narrow arch, and this patient is including wisdom tooth until 53 years old. This patient chief complaint is clouding, anterior clouding, and not good smiling, and a deep bite case. Okay? Then so my planning is no extraction approaching, including wisdom teeth. Then this is the initial smiling and profile. This is the OPG and the self. And then this patient want to change expansion. My planning is expansion. The many of the doctors, why create posterior open bite for the aligners? My idea is this. We have to check precisely for your clean check. The clean check is not real tooth movement. Clean check like a ghost. The ghost is same as this, through the teeth and teeth. But this is not reality tooth movement, right? So orthodontists and the doctors think about very important thing. Initially, check your clean check. The clean check is not for the shift to the jaw position, because nowadays it's just alignment, right? This is not diagnostic, not final situation. This is just procedures. Please have a look this patient for the backward. Watch carefully lower right canine. Hit here. Already this time is hit upper canine. At this time we have to think about how reaction for this patient. Clean check is stable, right? Please watch carefully. The canine hit here, okay? Premature contact. But nobody think about like this. The clean check is occlusion is stable. But why the reaction, why for the real patient just a little bit posterior open bite? This reason is premature contact another teeth. Many of the time is anterior teeth, some of the time canine. So we very important thing have to need explain for the patient before tooth movement. This patient is upper molar distalization, including wisdom teeth for this patient. Then distalization, expansion, alignment, and uprighting for the lower canine. At this time, premature contact here. Watch carefully, premature contact. Here, the canine and the first premolars. At this time, how reaction patient. If already explained for the patient don't, how I say, confuse and don't fear. Because I already told you, this is the plan. Maybe staging 20 until 25, you cannot bite anymore for the left side. Because I check the clean check, you have to need understanding. This is no problem, this is the planning. But if without any explain before tooth movement, sometimes patient, what happened, my teeth cannot bite anymore. Then so the orthodontist or doctor is very surprised, oh, confused, what happened, aligner orthodontic make me posterior open bite. But my idea, my opinion is that your clean check have to check precisely, then easy to find what staging, why started to posterior open bite or not. Okay? So let's go to ear tooth movement. This is the initially, okay, started to tooth movement. Expansion canine initially, then intrusion. Okay? Expansion first, then intrusion. how can we reaction? So if started uprighting first, started premature contact for the right side, then so this is a reaction. Posterior is started to open bite. This is the initially uprighting for the both of the arch, then started to premature contact for the right canine and the lower canine, then started open bite the left side. Then after that intrusion lower canine, then bite is going down. Then finally is the right side, is the left side, is a perfect the bite contact. Then we have to need it for the lower 36, have to need prosthetic approaching. Because this is already this patient observation is shape is not good, occlusion not good. Okay, initially uprighting for the canine first, then intrusion. After intrusion, lower canine is both of side is good for the contact, both of side. This is the final situation for this patient. So this patient is lower 36 is prosthetic approaching after end of the orthodontic treatment. This is finally is a profile and the smiling is good, and the correction deep bite, the correction not good for the smiling. This is after orthodontic treatment, OPG and smiling. Smiling is good, alignment is good. Okay, this is a second case. Why happened to posterior open bite? The next case is a deep bite. The deep bite is some of the time is very difficult approaching. Why the difficult for the deep bite? The labial braces, lingual braces. So my idea is the deep bite is very difficult to bonding for the braces, the labial and lingual braces. But please think very simply. Aligner is we can use any situation because the aligner, so orthodontic material is very thin. Okay, and on the other hand, if using aligners, immediately after patient is bite up because the aligner thin material is a 0.75 millimeters. Maybe if you using both of sides after using aligner, immediately after 1.5 millimeter bite up, that is better way for the patient. This is my opinion. This patient is 26 years old female patient. This patient chief complaint is deep bite and high canine, no extraction approach. This patient problem is how millimeter intrusion anterior teeth from face clean check. The deep bite patient sometimes very difficult is how millimeter intrusion is better smiling or not. At this time, only clean check is not enough. For my idea, if using the face integration clean check is more clearly visualization for your planning time and clearly visualization your communication for your patient. This patient's initial situation like this, very clouding, severe clouding, severe clouding lower and upper anterior teeth, and deep bite both of sides, and high canine, and class 2 relationship canine, and class 2 relationship the molar side. Initially, so the many of the doctors and the patient too, so have to need extraction. But my approach is no extraction for this patient. This is a face and a profile. Very important thing we have to check precisely. This is OPG and cephalometrics analysis. Then this is planning. The facial midline and the dental midline is correct or not initially. Then next is we have to check vertical position. How millimeter control is better smiling after beautiful smiling or not. And next one is how millimeter expansion canine to canine is better smiling for the patient and better to occlusion for the canine guidance. This is the planning tool. Planning tool is E-line and profile. And my planning is how millimeter correct for the anterior teeth. So the overjet, overbite solution. My idea is intrusion upper anterior, intrusion lower anterior, and proclination upper anterior teeth. This is face integration clean check, very easy case, easy software. The name is OrthoCommunication. OrthoCommunication is using just two documentation. One is a smiling face, another one is clean check movies, export movies. Then we synchronize like this. The face photos, smiling photos, and the clean check export movies. After that, trimming or like this line, then cut it. We can use also communication software, easy to integration. We call smile frame, easy smile planning. Then we can very easy to understood how millimeter intrusion is better or not. If I create one clean check, then so sometimes it's a 2 millimeter intrusion, but the integration phase, then so if I think more intrusion for upper anterior teeth, easy to control. Plan B, plan C. Okay? The face integration clean check is very easy visualization communication. Then after that, go back to the clean check. My approach is all the time is final position, decide on final position first. After that, shift back to clean check detailing, because a clean check is just procedures, not for decide on final position. So my idea, my opinion. Initially, I have to check which position is better smiling for this patient. After that, go back procedures. Okay, so that this patient initially decide on like this, molar distalization upper teeth, and intrusion upper and lower incisors, alignment for the both of the arch, and please have a look. This patient is no extraction approach, only wisdom tooth. Distalization upper molar, expansion, alignment, intrusion, control for the canine. Okay, this is also communication software screens. This also communication software is very useful. I usually, my dental chair is this. The front of my dental chair is there is big screen. As you know, Jay is coming to my office. Jay is watching my OrthoComm screen. Then I all the time explain like this, using this one. The patient watching this screen. What is benefit also communication? So that this also communication easy to switching. Aligner button, put on the aligner button, put on the tooth button, easy to switching. Aligner photos and the just tooth photos. Then so we can control slide bar. This slide bar is like an animation. The patient is understood my teeth is moving. My teeth is alignment. That is create patient motivation. So the aligner orthodontic treatment, sometimes patient don't understood tooth movement because they're totally different for the braces. But come to my office watching OrthoCommunication software, patient understood my teeth is yes, movement. Watch carefully this patient distalization molar is good, and watch carefully upper right after left canine. After left is don't bite each other. Don't bite between upper canine, lower canine. Maybe happen to unfitting for the aligners. I explain for the patient, this tooth situation will be start unfitting because I cannot use bite force. Then please have a look, just started unfitting. But we take a photo all the time, then insert for the OrthoCommunication software. So our team, myself, and the patient understood the tooth positioning, tooth situation, aligner fitting or not. Then all the time checking like this. Then I don't like easy to send to the refinement. Nobody like refinement because align technology don't like refinement, and the doctor don't like refinement, patient don't like refinement because I have to need waiting 2 or 3 weeks. Then I put on the button, original button, then using upper and lower elastic, triangle elastic. Then we want to control more extrusion with aligners. Then after that, almost good tooth movement, like I use for this one, okay? Then after that, take a refinement. This is a second clean check. I just control more detailing tooth movement like this. Then go back to the detailing situation. This is a detailing phase. Yes, detailing phase for the alignment. All the time, our team using this software. This is also communication software that is very simply easy to use. Okay. Then so that this is almost is a bite, almost is a midline correct, almost is a class 1 relationship achieved. Then we finishing orthodontic treatment. Then after that, we retention phase. Every 3 months, come to my office, then checking all the time, patient compliance, and good for the occlusion, good for the situation, good to the midline, good to the smile line. Okay, this is a refinement staging. All the time is a patient is very stable and the occlusion is good. Then this is the comparison button. We can use also communication software, easy to switching initial time and the final time, or initial time, what time you want, anytime. Now this is a face transition photos. Also communication, we can use the face procedures, facial change, and this software is insert to the movie data too. The movie data is nowadays is very, very good documentation. The guidance, occlusion, and the voice, everything. So that nowadays, just for the picture documentation is not enough for me, okay? And this is sometimes celebration time, happy birthday time is take a photo with us, then insert this software. This is good for the motivation for our team. End of the treatment for this patient is alignment is good, midline is good, control for the vertical intrusion. Then this is a comparison initial and the final situation. We correct for the curve of the speed too. This is a comparison initial and the final. Initial and the final. So this case, the next case is a more severe case. The next case is class 2 situation and severe overjet, severe deep bite, severe narrow arch. So the next case, if you want to checking, take a photo of this QR code, you can easy to checking my YouTube channel. Okay, let's go. This patient, 24 years old male. So the class 2 relationship, so what is better way, extraction or non-extraction? That is very difficult to decision. All of the orthodontists, all of the doctors. The problem is how minimize anterior retraction. That is main point for the patient, right? The patient want to change the smiling. Initially, like this situation, the severe overjet, very narrow arch, and class 2 relationship, and the deep bite, and very difficult to biting anterior teeth. Class 2 relationship canine, and the midline deviation, and deep bite, and the lower side is very narrow arch. So very important thing is this. Initially, if like this decision, how do you think like this case planning? If you have to think about, easy way is extraction. Yes, because everybody easy to think about. Extraction is very easy. Extraction or non-extraction. If extraction or 4 premolars, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, like this, then retraction canine, retraction anterior teeth and alignment teeth and a good control for the vertical tooth movement. Or how do you think non-extraction approaching? Upper molar distalization for sequentially, like a case 1, like this, and vertical control canine upper anterior teeth. What is better way for this patient? How millimeter anterior teeth retraction? This is key, this is main, this is chief complaint for this patient. At this time, we have to check planning, not only clean check. The face integration clean check is easy to understood, how millimeter possible, how millimeter change, the patient smiling. The patient face integration clean check, then, my idea, how millimeter retraction anterior teeth is good situation for this patient. At this time, digital orthodontic is very simple, very faster, create many type of the planning. Have a look. If I want to control anterior 6 millimeter retraction, I have to check based on anatomical data. This is cone beam CT. The upper second molar, we can possible less than 3 millimeters. 3 millimeter is possible from anatomical data. If I take a 6 millimeter anterior retraction, have to need 3.5 millimeter molar distalization. If plan B, I take a 5 millimeter anterior retraction, I have to need 2.5 millimeter upper molar distalization. Copy and paste and just little bit arrangement. This is a plan B. The plan B, copy and paste, just a little bit arrange plan C, plan D. Plan C, anterior 4 millimeter retraction. If I do, I have to need it 1.5 millimeter molar distalization. If 3 millimeter anterior retraction, I have to do 0.5 millimeter upper molar distalization. How millimeter distalization at molar for ideal anterior position? Our team decide on plan B. Anterior 5 millimeter retraction, then we need 2.5 millimeter molar distalization. We already know final position. Then go back to the clean check. 2.5 millimeter molar distalization, 5 millimeter anterior retraction. Of course, this patient case is a no extraction approaching, sequential 1 by 1, second molar, first molar, second premolars, first premolars. Of course, at this time, vertical control tool, finally anterior retraction, like this movement. This patient not only AP correction, this patient have to need expansion, AP correction, and vertical control. All of these tools we can do only aligners. No, we don't need it another braces, we don't need it another tat, only aligners with elastic. This article, our team published on JCO article 2018, using OrthoPulse device. OrthoPulse device is using photobiomodulation effect. Then, so that if you have interesting, please read our journal, Journal of Clinical Orthodontic JCO, upper molar distalization, Invisalign treatment, acceleration from photobiomodulation. Like this. Thanks a lot for our team. Initially, for this patient, using OrthoPulse device, 3 days aligner change. OrthoPulse device, where the teeth in the house, just 10 minutes per day, 5 minutes upper, 5 minutes lowers. then started upper molar distalization phase, started to premolar distalization, canine retraction for this patient, then started for the vertical control too. After canine retraction plus anterior retraction, torque control phase for this patient. This is the final situation for this patient. This is the final situation for this patient. Final situation. This patient we can achieve class 1 molar relationship, class 1 canine relationship, and we can control vertical control, midline correct, and the smiling is good. But very important thing is face integration, the teeth. Only alignment teeth is very easy. But if the good position, good smiling is very difficult. Have a look at the patient face. Is smiling is the good, and the profile is good. This is finally OPG and the safe, and the tooth, the parallelism is very good. This is a comparison initial and the final cephalometrics data. We can achieve 2.5 mm upper molar distalization, 5 mm anterior retraction for this patient. This is 2 years retention.
So, sorry, Kenji, I personally didn't understand how 2.5 millimeter of distalization will give you 5 millimeter of anterior retraction, because I thought that's when you correct the overjet, you get double of it. You need double of it. Can you just elaborate on that more?
So we have to take just analysis is not only cephalometrics data. We take a scanning procedure, and then we have to check for the anterior teeth for like wrist palatal position, and the scanning like overlay. Then we have to check 2.5 or 1 millimeter distalized for the analysis. So my planning is, but a very nice question. Thanks a lot for Dr. Mo. Is initially my planning is on the clean check is 2.5 millimeter distalization. Then if cannot do distalize completely, maybe we cannot achieve class 1 relationship. There's still class 2 relationship, right? Okay. This is, thank you. This is for the 2 years retention, the comparison with initial situation, okay? Then, so the good for the alignment, good for the midline, or the good for the canine guidance for this patient. This is initial and the final situation for this patient. Initial and planning the phase with clean check, the finally 2 years retention for this patient. If you want to follow up for this case, you can take photos for this QR code. Then you can check for my YouTube channel, and you can see the many time. Okay. This is for my YouTube channel. Please take subscribe, and you can follow to my Instagram. Then so that you can check for my new update for the case. Okay. The next topics is extraction. But Dr. Mo, do you want to stop this time?
I think we will go through question and answer session now. Thank you so much. It was really amazing. Amazing. You are really the Pikachu of clear aligners. Okay. So what's Pikachu in Japanese mean?
Pikachu is just name, just like J. Bowman.
Oh, J. Bowman. Yeah, Pikachu is J. Bowman. Okay.
Yes.
So I will ask
Jigglypuff.
Okay, so let's just do some let's change the mood a little bit. So if myself, Jay, and Mark are Pokemon, which Pokemon Jay will represent?
Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff, yes. and Mark, what do you think? It's look like that you still need to watch some movies with the children, Jay. I think you didn't enjoy the childhood movies, so that's why you are watching it now. Okay, let's go to the question now. And I think first we'll allow the panelists to raise a question. And I think Jay has some questions. And you guys, you can put your questions on the screen using the pollev.com/almusian. Yeah, go ahead, Jay. And then when we come back to you, Kenji, you need to reshare your screen again because I am sharing now my screen.
Okay, I'm not writing this down. I'm just going to ask them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Kenji, I looked up the OrthoComm .net website. It's all in Japanese. Is there an English link for that?
Yes, already done for the English link. So that if you want you can go to the English language also communication software.
How do I find that? Because when I get on the what link you have, can you put it on screen, the actual title for that?
Okay, so I want to share for the link for the also communication software English version.
Okay, you can do that in a minute. I'll ask some other questions.
Mm-hmm.
During your distalization, are you also asking the ClinCheck to give you molar rotation?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Distal molar rotation?
Yes, and
Is that built in?
yeah, you are right for the rotation with for the movement, right? Not only for the bodily movement, for the rotation, tipping, and the movement. Exactly, and sometimes expansion too.
Okay. How often do you see your patients? How many weeks between appointments?
So before the coronavirus is every once a time per month. But after this disaster, so I switching for the 2 or 3 months. I want to change.
And
How about for the J?
do you
After
do
this situation, do you change for the appointment for the aligners?
Will we? Yes, absolutely. We'll give more aligners, maybe even all the aligners up front, and then do maybe a virtual appointment sometime around 8 weeks or 10 weeks. I've seen a lot of people give all the aligners up front. Do you do that?
So now yes. So if you interesting also communication software is so the very new, how I say, new approaching is remote communication.
Correct.
It's started to the after 2 weeks later. What is remote communication is take a photos the patient in the house. So this photo is a remote insert for the folder from each past patient, also communication documentation.
So it seems like dental monitoring, right, Kenji?
Yes, dental monitoring is just a little bit difficult. The dental monitoring is a check for the AI because tooth and the aligner fitting for the checking from AI. But I don't like for the check AI. I like using digital communication tool. Digital device is good, like a Zoom and like a PC, like a smartphone is good. But check decision is have to need doctor, just now generation. After 20 years, 10 years later, I don't know. But now is AI is don't understood pain. If new aligner setting here, AI check fitting is good. Aligner and the tooth, but without any pain, without any situation, without any bite force and midline the direction and the situation, never know. Only fit, aligner and the tooth. That is very, very dangerous, for my opinion. But also communication software is take a photos, only this. Then this photo data is come to also communication software automatically. The doctors checking just photos, then comment. Sometimes using digital like online. Please keep this aligner because just a little bit unfitting. Please keep 1 week more, or you can go ahead step up next aligner, or please come to my office. Just a little bit I want to correct. The decision is doctor is very important thing. This generation, to 2020. Maybe 2024, I don't know. But now, AI is just very dangerous because they don't understood pain and situation, occlusal contact, midline deviation, never know. The totally different dental monitoring for the also communication, remote communication, so apps.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Will the ortho communication also work with braces?
Yes, you can use everything. You can use everything. Take
It's
a
like
photo. Yes,
Sorry.
yes, not only aligners.
Okay, one more thing. Do all of your patients receive an acceleration device so that they change aligners every 7 days, or is it only select cases?
So do you mean Chewy's, Jay?
Thank you, but no.
Because the Chewy's is actually your innovation. Just to make this clear, Chewy's is J. Bowman innovation. This is why we should call it JB, not Chewy's. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, no, I mean more like the Biolux or the Excellident or something like that.
So initially, very important thing, I have to need talk to all of my friend. The aligner Chewy is definitely important thing. That is key of the success. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Thank you.
So that every my patient using the Chewy. That is very important. But only few seconds to finish, not too much. Then so that I have to answer to Jay's question. So that nowadays, so that in my office, many of the patients want to use acceleration device. Yes, but so I think is maybe so that using acceleration device is a very faster aligner change. That is better way. But few months like this coronavirus situation, without accelerator is more safety. How do you think? Because one aligner 2 weeks, one aligner 10 days, are more, how I say, keep the same aligners. There is more safety for the control for the orthodontic treatment time. How do you think for the J?
Maybe.
Well, thank you so much, Kenji, for answering this question. Thank you, Jay. Jay, I will direct the question to you. What do you think about the future of artificial intelligence and its effect on orthodontics? And I think Mark Wertheimer is writing a blog with Kim O'Brien about this topic or similar topic. So what do you think? Is it dangerous? Is it useful? Is it going to be misused?
I don't know the answer to that, and I had very limited experience with one of the systems out there, and I couldn't get patients to comply with it. I would like to look at Kenji's system, which is not using AI. I mean, first of all, I think I'm artificially unintelligent in many ways in orthodontics, so I'm not sure that, it's idiots in, idiot information in, and idiot information out. So I'm not happy to see some of these companies involved in direct-to-consumer products either.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah, thanks.
Thank you. That's very good. So we are in the same boat. Yeah, good. And okay, Kenji, we have a question here. How did you control the molar tip while you were distalizing them without vertical attachments?
So very important thing is many of the doctors think about what is better way to place on the attachment. It's some of the articles. That article is very nice article because my friend Dr. Thomas Castro Florio published on the JCO article. That for the article is better way is placed on optimized attachment. It's very good for the control for the molars. So that is very nice article and I like it. But my idea is sometimes the molar is very big shape, totally different for the anterior incisors, totally different lower incisor premolars. If the natural teeth, the big for the crown and very easy to control for the aligners, okay? With any place on attachment. Normally, so in my protocol is a second upper molar, don't place on any attachment.
Okay.
Specialty distalization time. And extrusion is have to need place on attachment. but only focus on distalization, upper molars. Second molar, no place on any attachment.
Thank you so much. Can you tell me, Kenji, how much maximum distalization you achieved with clear aligners?
So it depends on the bone situation, depends on the how I say patient situation. But the 3 millimeter is no problem.
Okay, 3 millimeter per side.
It's no problem. Yes.
And with this without extraction of the wisdom tooth.
Yes. It's adult patient is more good, more safety. Yes.
So what you will say about some people? They said that we can achieve 6 millimeters. Some general dentists, they look at the clear aligner. They just say, I just see that they correct 10 millimeter overjet with distalization. What you will tell them?
So it depends on the planning and depends on the face. If you want more distally, if you can use some distalizer is I say is a TARD. Sometimes TARD is more good support for the distalization. Yes.
Thank you so
You're
much.
not going to get 6 millimeters from aligners.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a few studies that have been published, and the average is about 2.5 to maybe 3 at best. So you're going to need to, add molar rotation and/or mini screws, etc. So.
You know what's, Jay? Atherton and O'Brien, they published a systematic review and they found that the headgear can't achieve more than 2 to 2.5. I don't think that's the clear aligners with line force will achieve more than that. It's just realistic things. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at one of the papers I published on distalization with mini screws, and I think we were able to get up to 6 millimeters. But what good is it? It's like it was just an exercise in see how far we could go. But I don't think you're going to get 6 millimeters off of plastic with rubber bands.
Thank you so much. Kenji, we have another question. How you will manage the lateral open bite that developed as a result of the aligner covering the teeth? And maybe the second question, can you tell the audience, how did you get 5 millimeter of anterior retraction with 2.5 of per side? Still, it's not, maybe not clear. So let's go with the first one. How do you control the lateral open bites?
So many of the doctors think about aligner is easy to happen posterior open bite, but my opinion is that is no. So the very important thing, we have to check correct overjet. If initial staging, if you started anterior teeth control, if happen to posterior premature contact, anterior premature contact, easy to happen posterior open bite. So very important thing is the staging, the which tooth initial movement is better, or sometimes if you want to anterior teeth movement, but at this time, which tooth is hit, which tooth is premature contact or not. Then after that is after control, overjet, overbite, and sometimes uprighting like this is maybe most of the time is a reason for the posterior open bite, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So ideally, you should not have lateral open bite if you have a good incisor inclination and normal overjet and overbite and torque of the posterior teeth.
Yes.
And I agree with you. Thank you so much. So there's another question. Do you use a lingual or palatal attachment in the posterior teeth when you use elastics with aligners? And I think you already mentioned the second part of the question, how often you change your aligner. I think you said once a week, right?
Okay, so the first one is I use for the normally labial attachment. Sometimes is a ringo, but 10 years before, I want to place on both of sides, ringer and the labial attachment, the molar medialization, molar distalization. But now is I don't use for the ringer attachment anymore. But sometimes, so the actress for the actor, they don't want for the labial positioning attachment because take a camera is very high quality nowadays. At this time, I just place on the ringer attachment, but normally never place on the ringer attachment. And aligner change is normally is using for the acceleration device is a 3, 4, 5. But if don't use, it's a 1 week, sometimes 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks. Because teenagers, we have to check patient growing up, growth, we have to need a monitoring. At this time, it's a faster aligner change is no make sense. my opinion.
And Kenji, do you use any special retention protocol? Do you use Vivera or do you use just normal thermoplastic retainer and bond retainer? What's the retention protocol in general?
Yes, for the very important thing is a retention protocol is many of the doctors don't think about it because many of the doctors started for the initial phase, only scanning, Invisalign. But if like Jay, so many of the very famous aligner doctors is not only think about initial situation, they think about the after retention. At this time, is if using the 3D printing clear retainer is more safety, more faster, and more good for the control for the patient. Because I use 3D printer. End of the time, take a scanning, that we get the data that we create for the 3D printing model, then easy to vacuum forming so the clear retainer I gave to the patient. If patient 3 or 6 months later come back again my office, we have already 3D printer model, easy to print again, then send to. That is more better way for like this situation, I think. So Vivera is.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
COVID-19 related question. Let's say that one of your patients now lost their aligners or lost their retainer. What you will do? Maybe this will be directed to Jay and Mark as well.
So
Mine. It's happened with one of my friend. I tell them, listen.
I
will do. I will go to one of the direct-to-consumer company and request an impression, send it to the patient. The patient will impression for themselves, and then they will send it to the lab, and then the lab will send the retainers. So we'll just use this. I don't know.
I want to use this company.
I'm not going to disclose it. Just maybe if it's good if they are sending it for free, so we can use the benefits. Okay. So what you will do in this situation, Kenji?
So it just now is in Japan is not started for the Smile Direct Club. So maybe already start for the United States is all over the US, all over European countries already started for the Direct Smile Club, right? No?
Yeah, just behind my office.
Oh. Then so they are very easy to, how I say, tool for the send to the patient, take a impression. That is right.
Yeah.
We
So
want.
What do you do?
That is very nice idea. Like this situation.
So Jay, what do you do for the patient who lost retainer and aligners?
Wow, that's tough. There's a lot of different options. It'll be based on each particular patient. I might, if I have a small amount of tooth movement on the lower, at some point we're going to need to do some retreatment. You have to decide whether you're going to charge or not for that. We probably will not. We may make what is called a Revolution Spring Retainer, which I'll talk about on Wednesday, which is a TMA-based spring aligner that we've adopted. We might do some minor retreatment with aligners. If we aren't able to get patients in within the next month or so, if they're in aligners originally, we may just simply make the last aligner, make 2 or 3 of them and send them to them or deliver them outside the door. I think the key is whether or not the teeth have moved. So what are you going to do about that? If the teeth have moved, probably those aligners aren't going to fit. So it's a tough decision, and I think it's going to have to be made on a case-by-case basis, and you have to decide whether you want to bite the bullet or and just absorb the costs, or do you want patients probably upset with you if you charge them for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jay. Kenji, this is, we will take another 2 questions, then you can continue.
Okay.
When you have premature contact, as you showed, you said the ghost in their clean check. Do you change the direction, the speed of movements?
Okay, so this question is very nice question. So very important thing all the time I talk to my lecture. So think about the lower teeth and the upper teeth is we need very important thing. Lower teeth control first. Then after that, delay upper teeth. If it's opposite, upper teeth control first, easy to happen premature contact. Okay, so all the time we have to check precisely my clean check. Initial time like this is good, but like this is very difficult. Easy to happen premature contact, easy to happen posterior open bite. Then so sometime I control clean check like this tooth movement, but started to happen posterior open bite or sometime premature contact here. At this time, I talk to the explain for the patient, please lower aligner use first, 1 weeks. Then upper teeth is just stay. Okay. Then after 1 weeks using lower aligners, then just little bit create a space. Then you start it for the upper aligners. Just delay. Very easy to solution.
I received a lot of email yesterday, and let's call them attachments a archwire sequence. So I know Mark hated this question when somebody asked him, what is your archwire sequence? Because it depends on the case, depends on your need, and I'm sure that Jay and you agree with me in terms of fixed appliance. So is there any protocol, specific cookbook protocol for attachment, or again, same like archwire sequence? Thank you so much.
So my opinion is attachment is several kind of attachment is there, but the very important thing we have to think about what is active surface or not. Active surface is directly on the tooth. Sometimes for the distalization is here, but not only this direction. Very important thing after molar distalization, the premolar distalization phase is this attachment is reaction force like this, okay? So we have to need not only attachment shape, we have to think about which surface is active surface on which tooth is reaction force or not. Then so sometimes rectangular attachment, horizontally, sometimes vertically, sometimes optimize attachment like this. Very simple, yes.
Thank you. Well, we'll take the last question. People, they said that great presentation. Yes, it's super great. And
Thank you.
The first question, do you need CBCT scan for
Yes.
clean check simulation to integrate with the clean check simulation or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, you need it.
Yes.
Okay, and how to calculate the space of intrusion and angular retraction when you have multiple locked teeth?
So normally it depends on the root size and it depends on the bone thin. But take a cone beam CT, then we check for the how millimeter it's possible or not. Very easy to understood. Then integration for the clean check, then I ordered. So the very difficult, very dangerous is only think about clean check, because the clean check without any root, without any gum, without any bone. The cone beam CT, based on this, then go back to the clean check is more safety.
Okay, thank you so much. The stage is yours again. Thank you. If you can share the screen again and you can continue your presentation, I would be grateful. Thank you.
Okay, started my presentation again.
Yes, yeah. If
Oh.
you still have some slides, right?
Okay. The next session is extraction. Just hold on, please. Just hold on. Can you see that? No,
No, not yet.
not yet.
Maybe, yeah, not yet.
Just hold on, please. Okay. Okay.
Yes, perfect. Go ahead. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go. Next phase is extraction. Okay, extraction. Many of the time is Asian patient have to need extraction approaching. So initially I will show you for the 4 premolar extraction, the moderate anchorage approaching. Of course, this patient, if you want, take a QR code photos, you can check for the many time, okay? First patient, 25 years old female patient. This patient, high canine and anterior crowding, premature extraction for aligners. The problem is the bimaxillary protrusion for this patient. Okay, this patient is how can we solution? For example, avoid molar tipping, avoid bowing effect. Okay, the retraction management for the extraction approach is sometimes very difficult topics. Please have a look this bar. This please for the image the clean check. Okay, if one aligner for Invisalign system is a 0.25 millimeters. One aligner tooth movement is 0.25 millimeters. If you want to control 1 millimeters, you need 4 aligners. Okay. Then so that many of the time is a first premolar extraction. First premolar is 7 or 8 aligners. If you want to 8 aligners, you need it for the 28 aligners. Okay, 28 aligners, canine retraction first. After that, anterior retraction. Maybe your clean check strategy is like this. Staging is this: canine retraction first, then after anterior retraction. Okay, then this is, I think, 40 years ago, I created my staging Invisalign clean check is this: canine retraction first, then anterior retraction. But now I never do like this because this is MBS approaching canine retraction first, anterior retraction. And this is no make sense because no aesthetic like this canine retraction first, the big space with aligner. Please imagine, nobody don't like it. Okay. Then next for the staging like this, canine retraction, 28 aligner, sometimes just a little bit overlap started for the anterior for retraction. How can we do like this approaching? Canine retraction, just a little bit overlay anterior retraction. This merit is just a little bit short time, but not good for aligners. For example, type of the 3 is more overlap like this. Then canine, then started for the anterior teeth. Maybe will be start the bowing effect because the canine to canine same time for the retraction is very difficult to encourage. Then maybe I think easy to happen bowing effect. Then like this, canine to canine same time go control for the retraction will be happen perfect bowing effect. Simultaneous control is not good for the aligners. Reduce the aligner, but maybe have to need for the recovery time. My approach is this. Maybe so that all of the tools is using 8 aligner. 8 aligner is 2 millimeters. Canine anterior force, canine anterior force like this. Switching canine, switching anterior, then control space closing. This is a more safety. This tooth movement is very good for the control for the aligners. Then so please have a look this patient. Canine retraction first. Then initially canine retraction. Upper right molars is distalization. Upper left is majoralization. Lower right is only alignment. Lower left is majoralization. All of 4 component, molar component is different anchorage, different tooth movement. But we can do like this tooth movement. Why? Because this is aligners. This is digital also. Don't use any braces, don't use any wires. This all the tooth is independent tooth movement. They go to directly final position. That is totally different multi-bracket or ringer braces. 6 millimeter retraction anterior teeth and 2 millimeter distalized upper right, 3 millimeter majoralized upper left. But totally different tooth movement, but we can do like this. We call tactics tooth movement, like a football game. Every single player is different tooth movement. MBS is like this, pulling each other like this, okay? A component, the B component is different. Then we have to need A component, the pink color, the B component is green color, is pulling each other like this. If you want to more strongly anchorage, sometimes place on the third, sometimes place on palatal bar. But the aligner is totally different. Every single tooth or unit can tactical any movement. That we call tactical tooth movement. Every single tooth is independent, different. Why we can do like this tooth movement? This is the digital setup, aligners, then we can do tactical tooth movement, okay? Then we select like this tactical tooth movement of the molars, canine, all the tooth is different for the goal, different movement, okay? Then space closing, canine, retraction, anterior teeth, this is a finally. No bowing effect, no tipping, very stable. No use any braces, no use any virtual C-chain. But we have to think about this aligner material is very soft plastic. That is very important thing. Key of the success. Plastic is same as this, very soft, not TMA wires. We have to, this is a weak point, weak area. How we prevent is binding for the aligners, binding for the, how I say, your aligners, okay? This is an initial situation, then post-extraction for this patient. Then this is the progress. Already I told you, initially I never place on any attachment. After third aligner, place on the attachment, place on the bottom, place on the direct bonding hook, then started to class 2 elastic. Then space closing like this, then we have to control segment retraction. Then retraction for the canine and the uprighting forcefully started to control anterior teeth. And this is a space closing almost the class 1 relationship for this patient. This is a final situation for this patient, space closing, midline correct, class 1 canine and class 1 molar relationship achieved. Then this is 2 years retention. 2 years retention, the patient is stable, and this is the OPG, not root resorption. This is the 2 years retention for this patient. Initial, final, 2 years retention. This is a very stable. So my idea, aligner orthodontic is what is different point for the braces patient. The one thing is a retention protocol. The aligner patient is already started to education for retainers on fast aligners. Around 1 year half, around 2 years, or aligner patient is using for the aligners, but aligner is almost same as retainers. The braces patient is a fixed appliance. After 2 years later, is a remove all fixed retainers, then started to the removable appliance for the retainer. Maybe not good compliance. But the aligner patient is initial time already started to education retainers. That is totally different, okay? My ideas. The next patient is 4 premolar extraction with open bite patient. 27 years old male and open bite, high canine. So my approach is 4 premolar extraction. The problem is 47 missing and the vertical teeth movement have to need it. Now this is open bite class 2 for premolar extraction. Initially like this situation, very severe situation. Open bite, high canine and missing 47, 27 years old male. This is a OPG. Then after orthodontic treatment, I want to send my interdisciplinary prosthodontist, then want to place on the implant, place on the crown, okay? This is the initial situation, definitely open bite for this patient. They want to change smiling, want to change guidance. At this time, we use digital smile design, easy to use for the ortho communication software, face integration, clean check, then we can understood how millimeter extrusion, how millimeter correct is better smiling or not. The facial planning first, then go back to the clean check. Not clean check first. That is very important thing for my approaching. Then this is, have a look. This patient only two contact is a vertical bite, right side and left side. Okay, no use any anchorage, but the aligner is a vertical force. We can use anchorage. That is very strongly anchorage for this patient. Specialty aligners. Have a look. Initially missing 47, bite only 4 contact, high canine, open bite anterior teeth. Then for the post extraction 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. And started to place on the attachment after third aligners. Place on the attachment. Started to space control and introducing the molars, retraction canine, and using for the Class II elastic. Please have a look. This patient molars no tipping, all the time stable. That is very important thing. If molar is easy to tipping, easy to fail. Specialty this patient is without 47. Molar is only 1, but the molar is not tipping. Good for the bite situation. That is very important thing. Place on the hook and the bottom and using Class II elastic. Then almost space closing upper side. Then we can use strongly anchorage for the upper side. Then place on the bottom. The change started to the lower canine retraction phase. Have a look. Upper first molar place on the bottom. Then started to Class III elastic. Then we want to control retraction lower canine, lower anterior teeth. Almost lower space is closing. Then we can go to torque control. This is a final situation for this patient. Then send back to my interdisciplinary prosthodontist. This is the progress of the aligners. We all the time take a photo with aligners. That is very, very important thing for my chin. Then this is the end of the situation. So the place on the crown and before waiting to implant 47. This is a final situation for this patient. This is the finally comparison of initial and final. Initial and final. Okay.
So Kenji, can I ask a question? How many refinements you usually do in such cases?
Only 1 or 2.
Sorry?
1 or 2.
One or two. So you can achieve all this movement, you predict the teeth movements from the start with one prescription?
Yes, almost.
Almost. Thank you.
Sometimes we use for the 1 or 2 refinement, but now time is we can send to the line is no limit unless 5 years. That is very good for the news, right? This is.
Do you have any question, Jay? Maybe do you have any question about the details of the direction for a clean check?
Okay.
Kenji, when you're setting up your clean check, it seems then that you would have to individually tell them which tooth you're moving and how much in just about every tooth. Is that about right?
Me?
Yeah,
that is for the basically, not for the all the time too, because sometimes is right side, left side is just a little bit different situation. At this time, initially to then to like this, not same time to.
Right. So you're building in the anchorage loss that's going to happen in an extraction case and trying to bring the molar and the canine closer together to close up that weak spot in the aligner, and that reduces the bowing effect, right?
Very nice question. So the most very important thing is we think about aligner length. Aligner length is very important thing. Then, if for the going to small size aligner insert, so easy to tipping front, and the back.
Right.
Like this. Okay? So very important thing is aligner length, keep aligner length. And very dangerous is canine and molar same time tooth movement. That is very easy to tipping.
So you sequence the canine retraction, then some molar protraction, then canine, then the anteriors. It's a sequence, it's a dance between
Yes.
the two, right?
It's more safety.
Okay, very good. That you showed me this in Japan, but the way you've described it now is so much better. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you, Kenji. You can continue on sharing your screen. So we are almost, we have still around 20 minutes or half an hour. Do you finish, Kenji, or you still have cases to show us?
Yes, yes.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, so already finished my case.
You finished your cases. Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm sorry.
Just on time.
I think I received some messages and they request this to be repeated, the idea of reducing the bowing effect with the aligners by sequential or two-phase retraction of the canine. Can you repeat that slide again, please, if you don't mind?
If you want again.
Yes, please. Well, a lot of people, they are messaging me. I even turned my phone upside down, so I'm not going to look at the messages.
Okay, specialty I give to colleagues.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are welcome. Just hold on.
So Jay, while Kenji is finding the slide, what type of aligner you use? Invisalign or use another company?
Me?
No, I'm still using Invisalign at this time, like Kenji is.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you my rationale. I've been doing it since it came out in 1999. I don't do as many cases as Kenji does, but I know how the system works. I've continued to make modifications, try to learn from everybody that uses it. And for me to change to something else at this point, it doesn't make sense right now to do that, even if it were less expensive. So it's just like trying to jump around in different braces, companies or techniques. Once you've spent the time learning how to do one, why are you going to change suddenly to another? That's just my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. You know the weaknesses now, and you know the drawbacks, so you can play around it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Kenji, go ahead.
Is this one? This slide. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So the normally is we have to divide for the which tooth is control, which tooth is anchorage. Then not for the all the time, same time. So that Jay's for the wonderful question. This is one of the, how I say, the standard protocol. Sometimes right side first, sometimes left side first, both. It depends. But basically, we all the time think about not continuous tooth movement. Tooth movement 2 millimeters, sometimes 3 millimeters stop, then check for this one. Then after that, start again. Because the aligner is a very good for the tooth movement is space arch. Space arch is very predictably tooth movement. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can we collect some questions now? I think we still have some time, if you don't mind. So we are going to collect questions, ladies and gentlemen, and you can send us your question. Mark, if you have anything to add and to ask Kenji.
Yes.
So we have a few questions here. Yeah.
Not this time, Mo. I think Jay's probably posed a lot of the questions, so I'm not going to take up any time.
Yeah, so we'll have start with the first one, and this question is open to all panelists. So photodynamic design, photodynamic device, how does it improve tooth movements? So how does it accelerate tooth movements?
That improve teeth movement. So this device is a photobiomodulation device, right?
Yeah, it's the photodynamic, yeah.
OrthoPulse device.
Yeah.
OrthoPulse is very effective, support your aligner orthodontic, not only aligners, for your lingual braces, your labial braces, But if using for the aligners, for the my basically protocol is aligner change the time is 3 days. The 10 minutes using for the in the house, the 5 minutes after 5 minutes, lower 5 minutes, upper 5 minutes. Only this.
Well, I'm not very fan of the acceleration of tooth movement, but photodynamic is not orthopulse, right? Jay, can you correct me? What's the photodynamic? What's the commercial name of the photodynamic stimulator?
I just thought it was OrthoPulse.
Okay.
And a BioLux. BioLux is the parent
Yes.
company, and OrthoPulse is the product, I believe. Is that correct, Kenji?
Yes. Company name is BioLux and photobiomodulation.
Okay. Okay, another question. Do you use fixed retainer in your cases, or do you just rely on the removable retainer, the plastic?
Yes, for the specialty for the perio patient, I use for the 3-3 lingual bracelet, lingual retainer with clear retainers.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, a lot of other lectures, and I know that I attended some lecture about using horizontal rectangular attachment on their molars, okay? But to use a vertical one, do you think that the changing the orientation will make difference?
Yes, for my friend is my very close friend, Dr. Cami Marekian from Spain, Madrid. So I very respect for his approaching, and I many times is a collaboration to him. So that he loves for the horizontal attachment. Then so the very good for the control lower molar distalization, very nice case. So my approach is, the Dr. Cami approach is just a little bit very similar, but my idea why I use vertical. That means is same axis for the tooth. That is more easy to control, not only distalization, is a control for rotation and angulation, toe control, everything. And vertical or rectangular attachment is very easy to insert, easy to remove. Horizontally, sometimes just a little bit easy to insert, but difficult to remove time. Okay? Then I select for the rectangular vertical attachment.
Thank you so much, Kenji. Another question, in for premolar extraction, do you always retract one jaw with elastic and then the other jaw with different elastic?
Normally is not too hard one. Is we have to check all the time is a different elastic force. Check for the elastic force, then which is more better for the patient, because sometimes it's very strong man and a very sometimes very pretty girl is a totally different for the potential of the muscle. Then if using very strongly one is automatically lower mandible is like this forward. Then this is not good effect. Then so that we check all the time which strength is better to this patient, then we decide on selection for the force. But I use, yes, elastic.
Okay. Kenji, do you have a therapist working for you at the practice? Are they one who do the prescription, or you do the prescription for clean check? Or you do the clean check only and the prescription by the therapist? What do you do exactly?
I do everything.
You do everything.
Because I love it.
If you have a therapist, maybe we'll go and offer her a higher salary and get her in our practice as well.
Oh, come on now. You have Chisato Don to do this, right? Doesn't Chisato do a lot of it?
Chisato is very famous for nowadays all over the world. So
Okay.
yes, we are a team. So that we are a team is a very nice team. So every single doctor, as you know, the Chisato is very famous for the internationally and famous in my clinic. But only create for the clean check. This is a very important my job. Then so that I all the times every single patient I create myself.
So you are working with Dr. Sugawara, right?
Yes, for the Dr. Junji Sugawara and me is a collaboration since 2014. I respect for the Dr. Junji's approach. He's amazing. The surgery first doctor. Then after surgery first approaching, the limitation using multi-bracket system, then finally shift to the aligners.
So do you think that you and Jay can convince him to give us a free webinar as a part of COVID-19? You are in front of 700 people. So if you said yes, people will hold it against you. So maybe you can convince him to give us another lecture, or a lecture would be amazing. We like the Japanese sushi flavor in orthodontics. So we have another question here. Do you overprescribe? You know, we have a lag in aligners, in all of the aligners. Do you overprescribe your torque, your tip? Because some as you can see in the question, some presenter, they said we overprescribe because we can't get what's in the movie, in the clean check.
Yeah. So the clean check is not for the real tooth movement. That is just image. That is very important thing. Is that many of the doctors, same as me, so the 40 years ago, I 100% believe for the clean check. Nowadays, is a clean check is a one of the, how I say, procedure protocol, not for the real tooth movement, right? Sometimes is cannot bite force, and sometimes is premature contact, sometimes is tipping. Then so that we have to check is more advanced. But sometimes clean check movie is just one of the, how I say, milestone, just milestone. But not for the, don't believe for the 100%. That is procedures, okay?
Thank you so much. I think we can allow two or three more questions, but in the meantime, still people, they said that, can you tell again how 2.5 distalization give retraction of 5 millimeter over jet correction, or do you mean alignments? Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So another question, do you only use elastic for enforcing the anchorage? What about TADs?
Sometimes I use a TAT because last year in Romania, so that Jay and me is all over the world for the very famous orthodontist using the TAT, WIOC. So many of the doctors attending. At this time, of course, I do the lecture, the aligner with TAT. Sometimes I use a TAT, sometimes it's without any TAT, but it depends on the situation, depends on the tooth mobility, right? Sometimes I select TAT, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Kenji. We have another question, I personally, when I have a rotated lateral incisor, because I attended one of the courses, I say use the attachment by this guy. Okay, don't want to mention name because I'm not promoting any courses and I have no financial interest. So, what's your instruction to the technician? Do I ask frog staging or Kenji protocol?
Maybe nobody understood Kenji protocol. What is this? So I never order to frog protocol because a frog is I don't like it, right? Then so the not only canine, not only anterior teeth. Very important thing we call segment tooth movement. Sometimes canine, sometimes anterior teeth, sometimes premolars, segment. That is very important thing. Then so the not for the only canine anterior teeth, not canine anterior teeth. Very important thing, aligner length, and which is molar anchorage is what is control to segment tooth movement idea is very easy to solution. Every single orthodontist create clean check time. Okay.
Thank you,
Could I ask how you explain that to the technician? Is it written down? Do you write down those instructions? I want to move the canine for 8 stages, and then I want to move the anteriors for 8 stages, or is there some other way that you communicate with the clean check technician?
Very nice question. Very nice question. Initially, I create for the final position. Sometimes using digital smile design, integration, clean check, then I decide on the final decision, final position. Then I send to the align technology here. Then align technician is a create for the several tooth movement. Sometimes simultaneous, sometimes is a very unbelievable tooth movement. But at this time, I order to precisely. So the please use 8, sometimes please 6, and sometimes please control 2 millimeters. Sometimes please uprighting 2 degrees first. Then after that, like this, everything is different.
Okay.
It's all attention to detail.
No. It's a very very simple, very easy.
Yeah.
So one more thing, very easy one. I give €2 today's. So we call aligner leveling. Aligner leveling. What is aligner leveling? So normally braces is the leveling is like this. Okay. Then step up for the aligner via inch size small, and then there's many. So after leveling is an inch up. Then we can use square wires. But what is aligner leveling? This sometimes like this situation, okay? Like this situation is very difficult to insert aligner, difficult to remove the aligners. We check for the clean check like this. If this teeth just a little bit control like this, more easy to insert, easy to remove, okay? So the aligner leveling idea is very easy to solution, very difficult situation. So we check, this is sometimes it's clean check, okay? Then not only checking like this, we check like this, then okay, want to aligner leveling first, initial first, maybe 2-3 aligners. Then we correct aligner leveling, then tooth movement. That is more, patient is very easy, very good for the compliance, and sometimes easy way after place on attachment. That is very, I give €2.
Thank you. Well, just question, what's the discontinuation rates with the aligners in your clinic?
Me?
Yeah.
So aligner, what?
So, what's the compliance rates of aligners? I know that the Japanese, they are very, disciplined people. They are not like here, or other country. But what's the compliance rate with the aligners? And do you use only aligners? What if the patient doesn't comply with the aligners? What's your next move?
So my suggestion is very important thing is the first one is education. Education is very important thing. I many times talking for the patient, what is aligner orthodontist, the benefit, what is tooth movement. The second one is a keep motivation. The keep motivation time is if using ortho communication software, very easy to control patient motivation because they're easy to visualize. And the ortho communication software is shared to the link for every single patient. The patient sometimes watching my teeth, then tooth movement, that is very good for the motivation for the patient. And sometimes send to the patient parents watching this, and that is very good for the motivation, and then high compliance during orthodontic treatment time.
Yeah.
And OrthoComm is another function is automatically send a mail. Today's aligner change the day, today's aligner change. Every single patient automatically send a mail. That is one of the key of the success. Patient understood.
I think the reminder therapy and especially in the how it's improved the aligners wear and compliance has been published at the IPOS, and also I published a meta-analysis, but it's about fixed appliance. So reminder therapy improved the compliance probably over a short period of time. We don't know, but it's true. What do you think, Jay? You don't know. Okay. So, what material do you use for? Let me ask you something. Do you polish the teeth? Because a lot of people they want to do the steps. Do you polish the teeth before you put the attachments?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And what type of bonding do you use? Self-etch primer or two-step etch and bond?
So in my office, every single patient place on attachment do the doctors. The same as for the bracket position. Attachment, positioning, attachment procedure is a very, very important thing. Then so that my master, Dr. Barnashub, he do himself. Then so that I do everything, right? Then so initially polishing, and after that is micro etching 2 seconds. After that is initially polishing, micro etching, and etching 20 seconds. And the first step is bonding, light curing, template.
Jay, do you use self-etch primer? Because I know some of they use self-etch primer for attachment. I found it's failing a lot.
I don't currently use self-etch. We started to think about that when the virus came around, and we talked to Paul Ganji about this. He just put out on many of the pages, the Facebook pages, protocols that would reduce the amount of aerosol production, but is cautioning that some of these strategies may not be the right bond strength that we normally have. So you've got to look at this in each individual practice. Are you going to incorporate other protocols or strategies or machinery to reduce aerosol production and stick with your same bonding and removal? That's the other trick, removal of the attachments. Or are you going to go without attachments? Or are you going to go with methods, like you said, with the self-edge primers and accept more breakage? It's probably more of a concern for braces themselves and maybe bonded buttons, but we're looking at incorporating more machinery than we are trying to alter all of our protocols or techniques for bonding. Hope that answers that.
Thank you so much. Kenji, what type of bonding adhesive you use for your attachments?
It's 3M.
3M. So what's the name?
Now I
Response?
forget, but the 3M materials.
Okay. Okay. That's very, very clear. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. You know that yin yang is a Japanese symbol which represents union, right?
Yes.
Yin yang. So we are in this webinar, we are yin yang each other around the world. So thank you so much, everyone, for yin yanging us. But what is your opinion about yin yang?
Yin yang attachment.
and the sash as well.
So yin yang attachment is for aligners.
Yes, there is something yin yang has been developed by Nikos, and it's mainly to upright the molars. It's two horizontal rectangular attachment with different beveling, one gingival, one occlusal, and also they have the sash. What's your opinion about them? Are they? What do you think?
I never know so the yin yang attachment. I never saw it.
Kenji, it's much like the one you have, the dual attachment on an anterior tooth that Nikosis's mentor, Orhan Tunjai, came up with. It was his idea to have these two opposing attachments for molar or for root tipping.
Okay. So if for the
Let's move it to the molars.
okay, so this attachment is uprighting, right? The purpose to uprighting. Okay, so my idea, so that in my office, sometime for the molar tipping like this, I do uprighting hooks. That is very effective, very faster, is recovery. I use for the uprighting hook is about 2 weeks, is easy to molars uprighting.
So you're bonding on a wire hook.
No, so just for the arranged small size is attachment.
Okay.
So sometime I will share with you.
Okay, please.
Kenji, what's your
Nobody else. It's me.
what's your protocol for rotated lateral incisor? You know that this is one of the weaknesses of aligner. What is your protocol for rotating a big shape or small lateral incisor?
So small lateral incisor is a very important thing. Is a place on the attachment is more safety. So specialty Pokemon clear line. So definitely I want to recommend the place on the attachment on lateral incisors. It's a better result, better good for the tooth movement.
Sorry, which one? Can you repeat that again?
So the lateral incisor is some of the time easy to happen unfitting. Is I definitely recommendation place on any attachment. It's better.
Without any attachment.
It depends on the horizontally, rectangular, vertical, do anything you want.
So what you're talking about, Mo, was the sash attachment from Nikosis's as one alternative, which is a rotated, horizontal, prominent, beveled attachment.
Yeah.
I prefer to go right to a bootstrap with elastics, but that's just my approach.
Thank you so much, Jay. Okay, Kenji, you have 1 minute or 2 minutes. I want you to give us take-home message to about clear aligners. What is your message? What is your advice? Okay, so let's say that you are going to inherit this experience. What's you to the junior Pokemons?
My junior Pokemon. And just now is everybody is very, how I say, very dark time because coronavirus for the situation. But in this time, so we can use the aligner is not only, so the aligner is not for the enemy of the braces. Aligner is just the one of the tool. So the orthodontist, we have to think about just now which one is better for the patient. Now time, if you with aligners, is more keep for the distance for the patient. The patient is reduced for the appointment. That is more safety. Then so now I want to share with your team, your colleagues. If you have next time, I want to share with you another topics. Thank you.
Okay, definitely. When? Give us a time from now. We'll speak on the WhatsApp. So Kenji, thank you so much for your effort. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, March, for organizing all of this. I would like to give you a small songs just to say thank you. Of course, we give you the superhero song, but now we are going to give you another song. Thank you so much, everyone. After the song, I'm going to end the presentation. So thank you so much. I would like everyone to give Kenji thank you in the Japanese tradition. No, not American way. Should be in this way. So thank you.
THANKYOU, thank you, thank you. THANKYOU, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you so much. Ciao. Bye.
じゃあ終わりました。本当はオンラインセミナーがですね8時半から9時まであったんですけど、今から接続してみますかね。大丈夫なのかな。髪の毛なんか、すいません、2時間ぐらいやっちゃいまして、ちょっと接続してみます。一応終わってるかな。オンラインのウェビナーのブッキングっていうのがね、もうすごいんですね。いらっしゃるのかな。いらっしゃるのかしら。すいません、すいません、ちょっと皆さん本当にお待ちいただいてたみたいで、すいません、先ほどまでちょっと外国の方の YouTube ライブがありまして、それが長引きまして申し訳ございません。今日はちょっとね日曜日ということもありますので、少し巻きで、ご質問にお答えさせていただきたいと。すいません、ちょっと皆さん本当にお待ちいただいてたみたいで、すいません、先ほどまでちょっと外国の方の YouTube ライブがありまして、じゃあ行きますね。ご質問を今日ですね、まず、今ですね YouTube のが終わってオンラインの今度始まるんですけどね、こんな感じなんですね。